But let's see if that changes. It is Game 3 between LexMillea, the yellow Protoss. He is in the bottom left corner, wow, of Whirlwind, and his top left orange Terran opponent is still, and it will be for yet another match, and could even go into a round or a fifth match. It is ThEraXis. Even though these are replays, and everybody has seen the amount of replays, let's still get it pumped for anybody who watches this on YouTube. Yeah! What did he do? I did not see it, but ThEraXis saw it, and that's all that matters. We will see if he goes for the same opening that he has been going for that early gas into Reaper, into an expand with that reactored, Barretts. Wow, forgetting a little bit. But this game will get underway. We will have standard everything. Will he get the gas? He does not get as early of gas. Does throw down the Barretts. Will he get the gas now? No, he is going for a different build. Oh crap. And that is because Whirlwind is not good for Reapers. You can only get up one way. The Stalker could be right here, or the Mothership Core, and it would see everything. Every which way your Reaper comes in will be seen. So it is not the best map for those units. Also not for Hellions in every matchup, because Hellions proving to be very strong these days, especially with the Hellbat transformation. But not on a map like this, where there's only one way in and one way out of the natural as well as the main. No hidden ramps, no rocks, no random low ground over here. This is blocked off by a abyss. I do not want to fall down there. We do have standard timings on everything though. This is a one rat's fast expand. He is now getting his gas that will allow him to tech up a little bit. The probe did see exactly what was on the way though, and so he knows where his Terran opponent is. He knows that he went for the one rat's fast expand, and Terran, knowing where the Protoss is not, he will now see where he is. That is process of elimination right there. Going for an early robo yet again. We could be seeing another build like we saw in Game 1, I believe, where he did pull out the win. But I don't know. I mean, Terran went for a different build, so we'll see how that works for him. It will be a bunker, so we could see some form of 3-gate all-in with robo. Again, that's what I thought we were going to see in the first game, though, so I could be wrong yet again. Anything is possible. We do have warp gate about halfway down. Mothership Core is on the way, as well as a sentry. But the SCV will get in here. He will see the robo. He will see the gate. He will see everything, really. I mean, you can't see the timing on a few things here, but other than that, everything is pretty much obvious. Sentry trying to do as much damage as possible. And he does actually force field it. Why did he force field it? I do not know, but he did get the kill. I mean, that's a little bit of wasted energy, but it is a worker kill. Immortal production has started. We do have a reactor on the way, and it will switch out with this factory, I presume, this time, and it will allow him to get anything of a vast array. He does have double gas. He could go for an armory here soon if he was going for those Hellbat drops once again, but I doubt that is what we will see, just because he did see the early robo. He did see the 3 gateways. This is pretty much a standard all-in. We will see if I'm right or wrong this time, though. He is making a second immortal. He is selecting his gates once the zealot warps in, well, yeah, it still warps in, just does it in a different method, you know, going through the portal here instead of whatever newfangled strange technology that the Protoss have. He is setting out a proxy pylon as well. It looks like we will definitely be seeing this attack. He just needs to move out. He is waiting for the second immortal, which is not being chrono boosted because there's no energy. We have the armory on the way, though. Could definitely see those Hellbats coming here soon. Actually getting a tech lab here, but throwing down yet another factory. This is just an overall different build for our Terran player. We will see what he decides to do with it. The starport he might actually be switching these out. We have seen a little bit more Banshee play coming back into the swing of things. Here comes the Immortal, Zealot, and Sentry push. Would like to see the Mothership Core incorporated in this, just because, while it is good for defense, you can always pull back or time warp if need be. He does not have that with him, though. He is warping in a couple of Stalkers up here. Will have the gateway timings are slightly messed up just because the Zealot was still warping in. I mean, maybe it's a little bit OCD, but I like to have all my units warping in at the same time, I suppose. Just, I mean, it doesn't really hurt you to wait a second or two, I guess, but over time it can add up. I don't even know. We do have a slightly larger army supply for our Protoss player, or slightly larger supply. He is ahead by a lot of army supply. The SCVs have already been pulled. He knows that this is coming, and the Immortals do pull back. The Stalkers were actually tanking that first. That is not how you want to take that. The Sentries need to force field these off. The Siege Chain needs to not be here. This will really annoy the Protoss. It might make this nearly impossible. He does have the Warp Prism on the way. He could ferry units over here. He could warp in the main base and pull the Terran away from the front line, which would leave him a very bad position. Scans going down, showing that this army is definitely still here, definitely still waiting for the call to strike. And that Mothership Core trying to be a little sneaky. That's not going to work today, though. He does have siege chains on the way. He does still have the starport. Will be making a medevac. We'll see that. I mean, he could go for a counter drop while this attack is going off, which would be really nice to see. Here comes the Warp Prism. I did not realize that it had 2.5 speed. I thought it was a little bit slower than that, actually. Could see the Immortal drop. No, he is just loading up. That is a very random set of units to load. He's just going to ferry his entire army over, though, by the looks of it, because there's nothing here for Terran to see this. So yes, slowly but surely, this entire army will be taken over, and it is actually stouted by the medevac. This has got to be very tense for our Protoss player. He has been scouted. The Marines and the siege chains are moving back over. I don't know what he's going to do. He also knows that this drop is on the way. He will have to take care of that very soon as well. And these units are not all here. He's still missing a lot of his gateway units. Oh, and he's now trapped in a corner. Here come the SCVs. This is not going to be a very good engagement for the Protoss player. The Immortal has been focused down. There is still one more Immortal, though, but it is taking fire, and it is being focused down by the Marines. The force field's finally going off, but it is not done in time. The Time Warp also going off, but now the Sentries will all die, and that was just a very split Protoss army. He does have a couple of units over here, but they are attacking unfilled barracks instead of the siege tank, and the SCV is trying to do a little bit of extra damage. Will take a little bit of friendly fire, so one SCV does die. A couple of zealots in the main base still just being annoying. He did keep loading these units over here, but it's not going to be enough to hold against that many Marines. The Stalker is taking out the siege chain because it is too close. Two more zealots coming in here too. I mean, he is trying to do everything, but it's not going to be enough just because that was scouted by a random drop. Just a luck of the draw for our Terran player, really. He does have another Immortal on the way, but these Hellbats have done quite a bit of damage. We did forget to come back over here. One has 7, one has 9 kills. And that means that Protoss has no economy. He has a total of 9 probes. 3 of them are on gas, or 2 of them rather. That means that Protoss isn't really minding anymore at all. He does have 2 Immortals on the field, one of them over here, one of them being loaded up into this Warp Prism. This Warp Prism is pretty low, though. Could be taken out by the Widow Mine, actually. Oh, no, don't take... Okay. I hate that the Widow Mine does break through the Immortal shield, and it doesn't do the 10 damage. And these Marines are coming in here. They do not have stim to catch up, though, so they will not be able to clean up that medevac that Warp Prism just yet. But this is pretty much all Protoss is going to have for the rest of the game. He is making a couple more probes, but there's really no point to. He is down to 30 supply, or 29, compared to 73 of our Terran player. The Vikings shutting down the Warp Prism entirely, and now this pylon also being taken out. The Stalker trying to defend the Warp Prism that does have one of his most important units right now. That'd be very bad if he did lose that before it dropped out. I don't really see what Protoss is doing. He's moving in here with half of his units, does lose a Stalker, and the other one's very low. This is the point where the push has kind of failed. Here comes the Viking yet again. It will keep hitting that Warp Prism. The Warp Prism does have quite a bit of health, though. 100 shields, 100 health. They did buff that a long time ago, I remember. I forget how much health the medevac has. I should probably know that. But hey, can't know everything. The Warp Prism does load up a Immortal and a Stalker. What will they do next? They will kill a Pro, or they will kill an SCV and then get picked up and leave. When you're that desperate, things are not looking very good for you. Terran could really just push out at any point and just kill the Protoss player because he has 1 or 2 Immortals and a pair of Stalkers. That's his army, and a Warp Prism and a Mothership Core. Sorry. And the Warp Prism is in a terrible location. Why was it even over there? I do not know. I think he was trying to drop on the tanks, but he did just lose his Immortal. He did just lose his drop plate. He did lose his one of his Stalkers or 2 of his Stalkers. That means that the push is basically over. He's making another mortal still. I don't know if I agree with staying in the game even at this point. If he does lose this one, it will be now in favor of the Terran player. It will be a 1-2 series for LexMillea, but there will still be 2 possible games left to go. We will see how the Terran player goes on after this. Protoss throwing down his natural, but there's another Hellbat drop in the main. Oh, these drops. He does kill more and more probes. And he could actually drop in here yet again, but no, he is being scared away. 19 probes have been killed. Protoss is in a terrible position. He doesn't have the income. He is down to less than a quarter of the Terran's income and then just over a quarter, about halfway of the Terran's gas income. This mothership core being hit. He is down in orange health. That is not very good. The Immortal and 2 Stalkers over here, I'm not really sure what their job is at this point anymore. This medevac has gone to the end of the earth, back around the corner, down the street, down the lane, through the alley, and will be back home eventually. There it goes. The robotics bay has been started, but Terran has an army, and that's something that Protoss and Terran do not have in common right now. The War Prism, or the Mothership Core rather, could be taken out very quickly. One more shot, and there it goes, and that is the last shred of hope that Protoss had of defending any kind of base that he has. And this army has been scouted. It will possibly be caught out. There it goes, and there's nothing to bring these units back home. And he does call the GG right there. He sees the Terran army. He knows he cannot beat that. He does call well played as well, because he did hold that push off very nicely with the siege change. He did have that factory out already, and then throwing down the tech lab was a very good idea. So good game from the Terran player. We will see if LexMillea can pull it back. He is down. It is now 1-2 in favor of the ThEraXis, the Terran player. We will see how this ends up in Game 4.